Hey everybody, this is Jeremiah Craig. You've seen the ads. You've been wondering whether or not it's a ripoff. Well, today, Aaron Watson joins me and we go through the differences between the Cuero boots and the Tecovas boots. Let's get into it. All right, so Aaron Watson joined me on a Google Hangout, and he has both the Tecovas Cartwrights and he just got the order of Cuero Eastwood boots, which are pretty much the same boot, at least it looks like, but the Cuero boots are selling for about $80 cheaper right now. Now, if you're watching this after the fact and you're wondering why that is the case, it's just because they're doing a flash sale right now and they're doing a whole bunch of advertising, which has created a lot of questions. So Aaron was awesome enough to get the boots because he was curious himself, and he let me join him on a Google Hangout. So here is the Google Hangout. He's going to start by showing the Cartwrights. Now remember, the Cartwrights are the brown boots in this. That's the Tecovas. The Tecovas are brown. The Cuero Eastwoods are black. So as you watch this video, you'll be able to see the differences, and we'll go through a very detailed assessment over each one of these boots to show you the differences, because there are a lot of them actually. Let's get into it. Take it away, Aaron.
These are the chocolate Cartwrights.
Yeah.
In 10.5D, still looking fantastic.
Yeah. They're wearing in nicely.
Yeah, soles are, Tecovas is gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, soles are great. So these are fantastic. The fit is perfect. I don't have any, well, I wouldn't say perfect, but damn near. So just kind of wanted to go over, show these again and kind of show the similarities possibly. This is the box. It doesn't have any Cuero markings anywhere, just a regular box. This was during their sale, so these were $149.99. Let me see what the actual price I paid was, because I know there wasn't any tax and the shipping was free. $149.50.
Wow, even with shipping and everything.
With shipping and everything, free shipping. It's just like Tecovas, free shipping, free exchanges, free returns. They do have upgraded shipping options, but I didn't even look into that due to the sale. Okay, so this is a nice shoebox here.
Oh.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, nice.
It is super
sleek.
And then of course, oops, sorry.
Also made in Lyon.
Also made in Lyon. And this one is, I think it's going to say designed in Houston, Texas. Yeah, designed in Houston, handmade in Leon, Mexico. The two brothers that started RTIC coolers, and mugs and cups and all that, they're the same two brothers that started this particular version of boot, marketed, I'm sure, by the same factory, or possibly the same factory that other companies use. Here we go. Oh wow, that is,
whoa,
that is impressive. So that looks like this is instructions. Okay, so it says, basically says how we pride ourselves on friendly customer service. That's why all returns and exchanges are always simple and free. However, we require the boots to be unworn in the same brand new condition you receive them. Blah, blah, blah. Basically the exact same thing as Tecovas. We only can accept returns and exchanges within 30 days of your receipt of your items, and it's FedEx shipping. So same deal, just not a fancy card. Here is the prepaid return label for returns and exchanges. And This I think is really, really cool. This is a bag. This is a felt. Well, it's not felt, but it is a very, very, very soft cotton embroidered.
Wow, it's embroidered?
It's embroidered with their logo and their brand. And
Are you supposed to put your boots in there, or is it like a backpack, or is it just a bag with a cinch at the top?
this is just a bag with a cinch at the top. But I would assume what this is a travel bag.
Uh-huh.
This would be a travel bag, I would think,
It's like a
for your
sports
boots.
bag.
That's a big marketing step. That's definitely a step up from a koozie.
Yeah, for real. That's class. I'm impressed.
I mean, it's big too. You know, I wear a size large T-shirt, and this is, you know, pretty big.
Yeah, you could just cut out the bottom and wear it as a tube top.
Yeah, yeah, or you could easily
It'd
fit
be
both
so
boots.
hot.
So, let's see. The smell is the same, by the way. Same as any good new boot. All right, wow.
So far, the experience looks very similar to Tecovas.
It is, I would say it's dead on the same. You got a plastic bag on the outside, held in by a cardboard boot tree with their logo in their colors. I can see already. We'll do the the right boot first. That there's the same style tag. Very simple on the back. But one thing I can tell you right off the bat, the sole looks much thicker.
Geez, yeah, it does. Look at that.
The thickness on that.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, so the sole is more rounded and a little thinner?
I would say it's a lot thinner. I just can't get it to line up. I'll get you a picture with better resolution. The black boot, which is Cuero, is more curved. I don't know if you can see that. But
Yeah.
it's got more of a curve towards the big toe.
Yep.
Which would, if I'm correct, and I don't know if I am, I'm not an expert, but if I am correct, that would indicate that they use closer to what's called a twisted cone last, which puts the instep or that big tendon and your big foot, your big toe, kind of more off center and more anatomically correct.
Interesting.
Which is good. You know, that's a good thing.
How's the leather feel?
It's still as supple, but I would say it's thicker, which is it's making it feel stiffer, but it's not stiffer. It's still a very soft,
Yeah.
very, very, very soft leather. Very soft. But it feels thicker. Let me see. If it is thicker, it's just very slight. Very slight. Here's what you were describing about the shaft. You see the cording there?
Yeah.
All right. And then for a shot right after that, the cording here. Very, very up, down, symmetrical.
Yeah.
Up, down, very, very reminiscent of Lucchese. Okay. And this one reminds me more of Corral. So on Tecovas, if you look at the pull strap, the stitching is a straight line. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so on Cuero, the stitching is a little more ornate. It's got a little bit of a...
Ooh.
See that?
Yeah.
You see it? It's got a little flair to it. Another thing I noticed was the stitching that holds the cording in, and I don't know if it'll pick it up, on the Cuero is very tight. It's got 2 rows on top and bottom of the cording, very, very, very tight and durable seeming. Whereas on the Tecovas, it has 1 row on the outside and 3 very, very loose rows on the inside of the cording, which is, in my opinion, is going to be less durable. And one of the reasons I say that is because look here, right here in the corner where all the stitching is collecting. You see how loose that looks? So it looks a little muddled, whereas it is extremely, extremely tight and clean.
Yeah, that is cleaner, huh?
Right. So I don't know if that makes any difference, but in my opinion, it seems like that would be more durable. And the other thing that I noticed is just that the leather is the same material all the way through. I think this toe is a little wider as well. I don't know if that picks it up. It seems to be
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
slightly wider.
Interesting. It
So,
does look a little wider.
so
But
I
you've
don't.
also been wearing that for a week too. Do you think that makes
I
a
have.
difference?
I don't know because as far as I know, the toe box doesn't stretch. Everything from here back will stretch, but the toe box shouldn't stretch. It's very hard and it's treated to stay in shape and protect your toes.
Do they have a leather insole, or is it
Yeah. Well,
a removable one?
it's not removable. It's the same as Tecovas, where it looks like it's multiple layer leather and EVA foam with leather on the top. And then they use a leather and cork midsole, just like Tecovas. And I'm just really impressed with the sole. The sole looks like a boule sole. It's so thick and squared off.
Yeah, it looks super durable. I like that too.
Stitching at the welt oh wow, it looks actually, let me look at this closer here. That's another difference. The stitching on the welt for the Cuero looks thicker. You can easily tell that the sole and the welt are way bigger on the Cuero, way more durable. It reminds me of like what Phil Kim was saying about Alvi's boots and how they seem like they're built like a tank. When you compare the two side by side, it seems like the Tecovas is a dress boot and the Cuero is a all-around boot. I'm looking at this now. It has 2 rows of what I thought were pegs, but one is brass nails.
Yeah, that's pretty normal. Tony Lama does the same thing. They do
Yeah.
1 row of lemon wood and then 1 row of brass.
Right, and that's the more durable way to do it. Tecovas is all lemon wood.
Uh-huh.
So that's another difference to note.
So on first glance, it looks like you're kind of getting a similar boot or maybe even a better boot just at first glance. Looking at this, we haven't tried it on yet, so we don't know about that. But are you impressed so far?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Me too.
Absolutely. I think so far, just considering the boot itself, not talking about the company, just the boots themselves, I would say that I'm more impressed with Cuero so far than Tecovas.
For $80 cheaper too.
Yeah, right.
All right, moment of truth. Come on.
Let's try on. Let's do it. And I have on just normal, those boot socks I posted in the group that were cheap on Amazon.
Okay.
The Hanes, they're pretty thin. They don't have a lot of additional padding in the toe and heels, just like a dress sock. Okay, so initial pull on the left foot feels slimmer than Tecovas.
Wow, okay.
Definitely slimmer and longer.
And you have the D.
And I have a 10.5 D, correct. The arch feels like it's in a better place.
Wow.
Than Tecovas. I would tell you that right off the bat.
And this is the same size you have, 10.5 for the Cartwrights too.
That is correct. So definitely a longer, slimmer last that they use when creating this boot versus the Cartwright. Guaranteed. So these are them. So you can tell also, I don't know if once you roll, I don't know if I'll be able to catch it here on camera, but it seems like Tecovas have more room from the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
Cuero seems slimmer from the bottom to the top.
Yeah,
Bottom
I
of the
see it.
sole to the top of the toe seems slimmer on the Cuero. Tecovas looks like it's got a little bit more meat there.
Mm-hmm.
in the height of the toe, and that may be what's causing. You can also probably see very easily the width difference there.
Yeah.
The heels of these boots are in the exact same place. So look at how much more curved the Cuervo is.
Yeah.
And let me get you a side angle shot with them at the heel at the same place. You can see that the Cuero is longer. Now, it could be because they have some handmade aspects to them, but that was just what I felt on the initial fit as well. Okay, so it's definitely harder leather in the sole because they're louder than the Tecovas. I have hardwood floors, and walking around downstairs in my Tecovas, it's very quiet. Definitely a different sole material, possibly even the heel cap. The arch feels great on these, more comfortable than the Tecovas, and the insole has more cushion than the Tecovas.
Wow. More comfortable than the Tecovas.
That's definitely the arch placement on these boots is better. I would, in my opinion, for the 10.5D for my foot, the arch is in a better spot than the 10.5D in the Tecovas. And again, I have a hard foot to fit, but just by looking at the way the toe is set up in this boot, you can tell that they're using a different last. The end of my big toe is barely right there. I don't know if that's picking up, but it's not that far into the toe box. That's a pretty big difference between Tecovas as far as long and slender. I mean, you can tell a big difference. The Tecovas is way wider. I would almost say I might even be able to do a wide. I don't know. That might be too much. It's not too far into the boot, but it feels like it's too
tight.
Yeah, from left to right. From side to side, it feels like I have less breathing room than in the Tecovas. And I think that's just because the way that the toe is shaped. Right here, if you look at, get a better angle on this for you. Right there, if you can see, my foot is extending beyond the welt. I'll have to wear them around with some of my more balanced socks, like the black Dan posts. I mean, they're definitely not like uncomfortable at all. They just feel more snug in that area. And you know, of course, coming from a Tecovas, that's not the case with them. But
so they're not as similar as they looked online.
Definitely not.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you can totally see how much wider that Tecovas is.
Right. So now, and that has a lot to do with the last. And now you're probably looking at the welt, but look a little bit farther at the leather, because remember, you can see more of the welt on this Cuervo boot.
But even the leather's a little bit further
back.
Down,
back in. Then the Tecovas is more. It's more out this way because you can't see as much of the welt. So that gives your foot more room in there. There's more interior volume on this Tecovas. You can even see on the shine right here. If you look at the shine on the boot, you can see that this is so much higher than this boot. And I don't think that 1 week of wear, especially not crazy wear, is going to change the fit that drastically. And of course, the sole itself is not going to change ever. So you can definitely tell that they're not the same boot.
No,
definitely not the same boot at all. It has a totally different fit.
What about the heels? Am I noticing
That's
a difference in the heels?
That's a really good point. The heels are different, dude. The heels are different. The Tecovas heel has more base width. Do you see that?
There's more underslung. It's a little bit more angled.
The Cuervo boot is more angled. Yep.
I kind of like that look better.
Yeah.
That's more my style.
I would say that the Cuervo has their anatomics of the last more correct. The arch is in a better place. The insole is more cushy and comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody is trying to go from Tecovas to Cuervo, don't think that you're going to order the exact same size and it's gonna be the exact same boot. The heels are in the exact same spot right now. Look how different they look. Overall comfort is definitely comparable. I would say Cuero wins a little bit there, but we'll see. The price is low enough to where I can just order a 10.5 wide without returning the 10.5 D, and then maybe go from there. I'll give it a day, try some different socks, and then go from there. But I would definitely say that they're different boots, and the quality on the Cuero boot may be just a tad higher. The sole is so much thicker. I really can't get over how much thicker the sole is on the Cuero boot versus the Tecovas boot.
So not a ripoff of the Tecovas.
I would say that the design may be slightly, a ripoff. It's like, McDonald's and Burger King both carry French fries.
Right.
Who carried them first? I don't fucking know, but they're both different.
Right. It's just the fact that they use cording
Right.
in the shafts rather than the top stitching.
Very good point. And a lot of the people that I saw that were early reviewers on Tecovas and Cuero boots were mentioning that they like the fact that those companies were doing that because it's bringing more interest from the young crowd out there to get back into boots because it's more conservative. It doesn't stand out as much. It's not something that looks a lot different than other pull-on boots or high boots that you may see even with laces.
Is there anything about that boot that feels like it's cheap and basically showcases its price point?
The heel cap seems to be about a millimeter thinner, but other than that, I would say absolutely not. The fact that it has brass nails in there as well as lemonwood pegs is really kind of blowing my mind right now. That's one of the biggest differences I would say between the boots as far as quality is concerned, and that alone is enough to differentiate two different boots. The cording, the same cording. I would say that there's nothing saying a Cuero boot is going to be of dissimilar or lower quality than a Tecovas boot, even given the price point of $149.50 for what some may consider an identical boot, but what we've concluded is a completely different boot concerning fit, even toe style, and cording, of course.
Cool. Well, we'll have to check back in after you wear them for a little bit just to make sure that they hold up in the same fashion that Tecovas has been holding up.
Yeah, definitely. There's even the countersunk stitching at the bottom looks the same.
I am pumped. Cuero is coming through and changing the game here.
Yeah,
this is incredible.
And I really like this the cording, the design on the cording.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's more aggressive.
It's just sharper.
But it's sharper, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't look so reserved. And I like my boots to be reserved as far as color, but I like some flair.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to do it right there. A slightly more underslung heel, more intricate cording, obvious advantages in quality. It's a good boot, I would say, for sure.
Wow. Game changer. Aaron, this is awesome.
So that's pretty impressive, right? The Cuero is coming through with a quality boot that is a little bit more narrow than the Tecovas. So if you have a narrower foot and you tried the Tecovas and they didn't work for you, then maybe Cuero might work for you. But I checked in with Aaron a couple of days later, and here are his thoughts after a few days with the Cuero boots.
Unfortunately, even though Cuero is cheaper by a decent amount right now,
The fit is better for you.
I think I'm just gonna stick with my brand loyalty and Team
There you go.
Tecovas. So
There you go.
I emailed them before I made this decision and asked them, if it was typical for their toe box to be a little bit thinner from bottom to top, than Tecovas, or if it could be maybe a bad size, or if I should try a wide. And the wide was out of stock in black.
Wow.
And they said that it wouldn't be in stock again for 60 days. So I'm not sure. I contemplated trying a different size, but I figured that I would just stick with Tecovas, even though I do like the cording on the shaft better with Cuero.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just no denying the fit and the finish of Tecovas. And the sole, honestly, even though it's a little bit thinner and a softer leather, I haven't noticed any excessive wear in the that I have compared to even my boulets that I have. And they use a very hard leather sole.
So unfortunately, the boots were too narrow for Aaron, and he's probably going to try the double E, the wide, and we'll let you know if he does, but still the differences are pretty enormous between the Tecovas and the Cuero boots. The build is different, the sole is different, the heel is different. These are different boots, but they look similar because of the cording that they use in the shaft. So even though they look very similar, they are a different made boot together. And it's really interesting to see the differences in this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed it. It's a huge knowledge thing for the boot industry to know the differences between these two boots, because they do look like a ripoff of the Tecovas styles at first glance through the advertisements. So let me know what you think of the Cuero boots in the comments below. A huge thanks to Aaron for sharing this experience with us, and I will see you guys next time. Peace. Tecovas versus Cuero. Looks like they're a little bit more narrow. The sole is different and so is the heel too. Tecovas versus Cuero. Turn over the cards and tarot, or just try both to see which one's right for you. Hey, thanks for watching today, everybody. I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace, everybody.